The way that this project started was, it was, my solo tour, but I wanted to give Myles full credit, so I called it Slash featuring Myles Kennedy. And so when it came around to doing this album, it was basically an extension of that, so I didn't want to change the name. And we gave Brent and Todd their own sort of title, which was The Conspirators. So it's sort of a band, but I'm still sort of the leader. I don't have a lot of what you call expectations. I think that the record's really good, and I'm really looking forward to picking up where we left off from last year, because now we're going to go out with the same group of guys. I think everybody sort of knows what it is that is at this point because of all the touring we did last year. So now we have a whole body of original material to add to the set. So I just think it's going to be really awesome. I worked with Myles by chance on the last record, and I'd never actually heard him sing before. And so I was sort of looking for somebody to sing these last two songs, and I've been hearing this name Myles Kennedy since 2002. And I thought, well, I'll just take a chance and call him to see if he's interested. And so he did those two songs, which were fantastic. And then I asked him if he wanted to do the tour that I was putting together to support that album. So he accepted the offer to do the tour, and we put together a set of Guns N' Roses material, Snake Pit material, Velvet Revolver material, and also songs from the last record with all those diverse, different types of vocals. And he handled it beautifully. And so it was during the tour that I thought if I was going to make another record, I would want to do it with Myles, as well as Brent Fitz and Todd Kearns, who played drums and bass respectively. So that's how that came together, and it's turned out to be a really, really positive, creative chemistry between myself and Myles and the other guys. Once I'd made the decision that I wanted to make an album with Myles and Brent and Todd, I started writing music. I mean, I guess I was writing on the road anyway, but I didn't know what I was going to do with the music. And so now I focused all my attention to giving more and more music to Myles so that he could come up with ideas for lyrics and so on and so forth. So somewhere halfway through the tour, we made that decision that we were going to do a record at the end. And so it became very focused. The record cover is just a bunch of different stuff, different things that I like. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with my guitar style. I mean, it has a guitar in the photo, it has my top hat in the photo, it has snakes in the photo, it has dinosaurs in the photo, and of course it has women in the photo. So it's more of a statement of my own perverse fantasy. The Slash box was an idea that the producer, Eric Valentine, to facilitate me being able to play live in the studio and retain my live guitar tracks. What it did was it made it so that I could hear what everybody was playing through monitors instead of using headphones. He built a room within the room that the other guys were playing in that isolated me so that I could have monitors in there playing at maximum volume that wouldn't get into the other microphones. It works. The way that my playing's sort of evolved at this point is I've definitely gotten better as a guitar player. I'm more in control of what it is that I'm trying to express on the guitar, especially in the last I'd say in the last 7 years. I think I've really excelled a lot. But the way it seems to me is it's becoming easier for me to be able to express myself emotionally on the guitar, to have a feeling and instantaneously get it from my heart to my fingers, which the more experience you have, the more you get to know the fretboard and the more that happens. So that's where I think I'm growing as a guitar player, and I think that I've sort of broadened my horizons over the last few years in playing a lot of different styles and learning a lot of sort of different melodic techniques in different genres of music. I love playing live. It's probably the reason I've been doing this as long as I've been doing it, because I love to write, obviously, and I love to make records, but ideally the only reason I do either is so that I can go out and perform songs in front of an audience, and that's what's been keeping me going for as long as I've been doing this. Being at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in and of itself turned out to be a really great experience. It was a mixed feeling going into, you know, the months leading up to the induction. Was not necessarily positive, but once I sort of decided, okay, I'm going to go, and Duff decided he was going to go, and Gilby and Steven, all that. Actually being there and being inducted was a really positive and pleasant experience. I would say that I'm definitely not as self-destructive, I guess, as I was. We still live in this sort of crazy sort of rock and roll business, and I've dragged my wife and my kids along with me, but they're pretty supportive. So yeah, I'd say I'm reasonably stable. You know.